Alright, so in the last video I told you guys I was going to try to get in the toy room a little bit more often and crank out some more toy reviews and some more videos. Well, obviously that was a lie because I just haven't been in here. I got this thing called work, and it revolves around this other thing that I have called bills, and that has really been taking up a lot of my time. But if it wasn't for the work thing, I couldn't afford these things because these things are $80 each. So when you're sitting there at work and you're like, God, how many hours did I have to work to buy that? And it kind of puts things in perspective, but for some reason we still buy them. So we're going to be looking at this Mezco Aquaman. When I was trying to decide which Aquaman should I get the Mezco One or the Mafex One? Well, Mezco pretty much beats Mafex, I don't know, 9 times out of 10, or maybe 10 times out of 10. I'm a sucker for the soft goods. I like how it hides the joints and the articulation. That's like the only thing that I don't really like about action figures is when you can see the joints. That's probably why I'm on Mezco's nuts so much. And with this Aquaman, it was like weird because the DC movies are okay. They're not great. But I did want this Aquaman until I saw the trailer for the new Aquaman coming out, and then he's in his orange and green costume. And then I almost instantly regretted this decision because that is the Aquaman that I want in my collection. I kind of want this one too. You know they're going to make it, and then I'm going to have 2 Aquamans. Let's check them out. Alright, so for accessories, he always comes with a bunch of hands. He basically has... I'll go ahead and get the tweezers out so I don't gross you guys out too much with the fingers. He has the grabby hands. I guess that's if he wants to hang out with Mirror. He can definitely get a good squeeze on her. Thank God he comes with swimmy hands. Unfortunately, I probably won't be using those because he definitely needs to hold his other stuff. And then he comes with 2 fisted hands. And then he also comes with the mother box, which is cool. I do have other mother boxes that Mattel made. I don't know if this one's much better, but we will do a side-by-side comparison. Then he comes with this Trident, which is also really cool. Let me go ahead and pop that out and give you a close-up of that. Here it is. I mean, I think it looks exactly like this in the movie, so I'm not going to scream that there could be more detail because I think this is all the detail that it is. And as far as the mother box goes, that's pretty much it. That thing looks pretty cool. Let's check him out. Now, this toy, I was kind of on the fence just because I'm not real stoked on the whole DC movies that much until I saw the trailer for this new Aquaman movie. And I was like, okay, this thing definitely looks cooler than the Mafex one, so I'm definitely going with the Mezco one. And I was real curious to see how they did the armor because I was like, man, it just looks like it's all plastic. I really don't see the soft goods. Well, the soft goods is there, and that's what makes this Aquaman amazing. So it's basically, you see it in the armpits. I'll go ahead and point it out. Like, there's the soft goods here, here, and here. It just blends so well. Like, hold on. So here's the soft goods. There's this package. And then here's his plastic. So there's like a texture on there. God, they did such a good job. Man, I tell you what, this is for a figure that I wanted, but I wasn't really excited for. This might be one of the best Mezcos they've ever did. So this is all fabric back here. Really well done. The stitch is hidden because of this thing. This thing does take away from the articulation, but who cares? It looks amazing. The detail, the paint. Like when you look at this thing, it actually looks like an $80 action figure. And then it makes you free. You don't really feel as if you like made a bad purchase. The head sculpt on this thing, it's good. It's not great. I think they could have did a little bit better on that. It would have been nice if it would have came with 2 different heads. I mean, you kind of expect it for an $80 toy. We weren't that lucky, like maybe like with one with like kind of like wet hair. Maybe this is the wet hair one and then dry hair. I'm really digging this thing. As far as articulation goes, it's basically the same. This thing does restrict it a lot, so you pretty much get nothing in the middle here. Like that's just a big rubber piece on them. Everything else is exactly the same. Like, you got the fabric in there. Man, that just works so good how they did that. Same articulation as always. You got the thighs here. Like, you move it. Like, you see those little bumps? Like, those are, like, textured in there. And then you have, like, the double knee, the swivel up here at the thigh, which you really don't want to twist that too much because it get in the fabric and then you don't really know what direction that it's going. As far as the ankle goes, has very little pivot, which is something that we've come to expect from these things. I guess that's all we're ever going to get. You really don't get much ankle at all in this, which kind of sucks because if you want to do them in a swimming pose, that's pretty much it right there. Like, it doesn't really go back any farther. It's almost like it doesn't go back at all. There he is. I'm going to pull out some other Aquaman. All right, we'll go ahead and start with the mother box. This thing, this is basically, I really like this pointer stick. This is the new one that we just got with Mezco. These are the other ones that we got with Mattel. They basically look just as good as the Mezco one. I mean, it's a box. I don't know which one's accurate, which one isn't accurate. I would say that this is what it's actually supposed to look like. I mean, it's a nice little throw-in, but I was pretty happy with Mattel ones. As far as a comparison, this is the only other movie Aquaman that I have. I had other ones, but I didn't really like them. I knew this one was coming. I mean, I don't need 6 movie Aquamans, at least in this costume. I will definitely need one more when they put him in an orange and green costume. But basically, you can look at these two head sculpts, and yes, of course, the Mezco is definitely better. But this isn't actually that bad. And this one comes with the tattoos. It would kind of be cool if we had a tattoo version of this, but I'm not, well, I probably would. But I shouldn't spend 80 bucks on a tattooed, shirtless Aquaman, so I guess I am pretty happy that we got this. This one has the jeans on. I did a review of this one, so we're not going to go over it too much. I basically just wanted to do a side-by-side comparison. As far as scale goes, they're basically the same exact size. And I went ahead and pulled out this Armored Batman just for you can kind of see that this thing is, he's as good as this Armored Batman. Like, he might, well, this one, the eyes light up. So, like, this used to be one of my favorite Mezco action figures just because it lights up, it's got the soft goods, it's got the armor, and they basically did it again right here with Aquaman. So, if you're on the fence about getting this, I mean, you could try to wait to see if they're going to make with that orange and green one, because that's definitely going to be the one that everybody wants. If not, I highly recommend this toy. It's action figure perfection. I don't know how it could have been any better. Maybe 2 different heads. That's like the only thing I could think of. I'm really digging it. I'm going to throw them up there with the Mezco collection. We're going to check that out. So because I have a Marvel Mezco figure sitting right over there, waiting anxiously for a toy review, I'm just going to go ahead and show you the DC Mezco shelf. And as you see, there's a lot of stuff mixed in. That is actually not Mezco. That's because they really don't make enough villains. It'd be cool if they made like really cool accessories like that explosion. Thank God for bootlegs and SH Figure Arts. We're able to get those. So here's the DC collection. I saw somebody put like a bunch of like the Joker goons and stuff with that Joker that actually looked pretty good. I might throw some of those out, but at the same time, I don't want this shelf to get too crowded and cluttered because I'm really liking how this thing is looking kind of as is. And as you see, I have like Mafex mixed in here. I kind of feel like they're almost the same quality and they perfectly in scale. They kind of go right in. Working our way down to this new Aquaman, and I said earlier that this thing is probably a perfect action figure. Well, that's because I didn't play with it enough. Because he's Aquaman and you really can't even get this guy in a swimming pose. His head won't tilt back. His feet don't really, yeah, that's the best swimming pose, and he's like looking down. So you gotta like put that stand up probably a little bit higher for him kind of be looking down on somebody. And over here, last but not least, the flashes. That's my review. Like always, guys, sorry it's been so long, and thanks for watching.
Beautiful.